We miss you. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the videos from the YouTube channel, the Game Theorists. This video is going to be very depressing, so yeah, do bear with it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's start.
When I started this channel 7 years ago, it took...
Oh, 7 years ago, wow. 7 years already have passed.
took me about a month to put together every new video. It's funny because even back then I couldn't produce videos fast enough to keep up with the YouTube algorithm. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? Now obviously
The more things change, the more things... Yeah, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
research and writing were a big hurdle in that, but the thing that took the most time was editing. I had no idea what I was doing. I was using the base video editor that came with my laptop at the time that had absolutely zero functionality and crashed literally every other day.
Yes, I can experience that. I know what you mean. Using the base editing software. Yeah, I'm using Photos by the way.
I would lose just days worth of progress to a crash, a failed render, whatever. I couldn't tell you a keyframe from a crop factor. I was literally stop motion editing frame by frame, pixel by pixel to get things moving across the screen. No exaggeration, thousands of Photoshop files with things just moved a pixel or two at a time.
Yes, yeah, I can relate to that. It's just small content creator have to go through it.
The long story short is that I wasn't very good and I wasn't very fast. And I learned pretty early on that if I wanted the channel to grow at all, that I needed to produce more videos faster.
Similarly, I want my channel to grow faster. I need to make video faster and better. So.
Enter 𝐋𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐧𝐠 and Ronnie Edwards, two of my fellow creators who had reached out for help earlier that year. 𝐿𝐬𝐬𝐬 wanted to find more people to watch his show 𝐋𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐧𝐠 Gamer, to which I responded, hey, 𝐿𝐬𝐬𝐬, no one really knows or even understands how to spell 𝐋𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐬, so thus his show became Game Exchange.
True. So, if you're not sure, 𝐋𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐬 means 外人, means foreigner, outside people, yeah, international friends, to say the least. So just change it to Game Exchange.
Ronnie, meanwhile, reached out to me after the third episode of Game Theory, which was on Illusion of Gaia, just because he was excited to talk to someone who was equally passionate about such an obscure SNES title. What was supposed to be an hour-long interview ended up lasting 3 hours for this podcast that he had just started. Funny enough, that was actually my first ever interview as a YouTuber. Both guys were passionate about fusing education with gaming, just like I was with Game Theory, and I realized that the three of us working together had a better likelihood of helping us grow than if we were all working separately.
True. With the right individuals, we are stronger together. Yeah. So, just as the quote says, find people who lift you up. Choose people who make you better.
So I asked them to join the channel. To their credit, they said yes. They accepted my offer with little more than a handshake and a promise to deliver them their ad revenue at the end of every month. Times were different on YouTube back then. So with that, at a whopping 10,000 subscribers, Game Theory transformed into the Game Theorists.
Game Theory evolved to Game Theorists.
It became clear that Ronnie liked editing more than writing or hosting, and since, like I mentioned, I sucked at editing, he just focused most of his time on editing for Game Theory. We called it the Editing Dungeon. His first episode was the cost of Minecraft.
The Editing Dungeon. The Editing Dungeon. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Diamond Armor. And I remember sitting there watching the first draft of that episode and finally, for the first time, seeing game theory in the way that I had always envisioned it looking. His experience and skill with animation and illustration was able to accomplish things that in 2 years of working on the series, I had never been able to do. But finally, game theory was looking the way that I had always envisioned it looking. It was doing things that I had wanted to do and just didn't have the skill to execute on. And for the next 5 years, Ronnie was our go-to editor. A silent hand behind a huge number of the videos that you've seen on this channel, on Film Theory, and all the other Theorist channels.
True.
And that's why it shatters my heart to tell you that on July 4th...
No, please don't say that. Please. Please don't say that. Please. Please don't say that. Don't say it. Please don't say it.
Ronnie was found dead. A victim of suicide.
No.
We found out 2 days later. We had been communicating about a project that he was editing on. He went silent for a couple days, and so we went to his apartment to check up on him, only to be met with a coroner's notice.
Come on, we are just humans. Why suicide? Why suicide? We are all humans. If other people suffer, we feel the pain as well. That's the reason why I'm crying. I don't know him as a person, but I know him as a human being. And that is more than enough.
The next day, Stephanie and I were in the hospital about to have our first baby.
Oh gosh!
As you can imagine, it was an emotional weekend. And it's been an emotional roller coaster ever since.
No.
I've been wanting to do this video or say something for the last 2 weeks. But we wanted to hold off on a memorial until we were able to contact his family and get their permission to do it. But Ronnie had a really rocky relationship with his family, and so we've had no luck. And now with news slowly starting to get out that something may be wrong, we had no choice. Ronnie, in all the years that I knew him, dealt with demons that only he could understand. Scars left by a childhood that he kept under lock and key. Over the years, he would give me glimpses as to what he had gone through, but I never had a complete picture. What I can say is that he did his best to move on, to strike out on his own, to move beyond the trauma of his past.
Yes. That's absolutely correct. Move beyond, further improve ourselves, and yeah, strive for a better tomorrow. Come on, we are just all human beings.
To take his mental health into his own hands and take his recovery seriously, one step at a time, every single day. That past also gave him a personality that was probably best described as an acquired taste. He was incredibly sharp and incredibly witty, but he also had this ability to cut through a person's facade in a way that was sometimes hilarious and sometimes a bit off-putting. Even after years of working with him, I would walk away from some conversations questioning whether I should be offended. Like, his sarcasm was so dry that there were times where it's like, was he joking? Or is he mad at me? Should I be offended right now? It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it's something hard to tell, but it's good. There are people in our life who may go through something like that, and it's always good to stand in their shoes, understand their point of view, and just share the positivity with them.
And it was that same personality that, understandably, sometimes got him into trouble with people who weren't familiar with that part of him, who didn't understand that that's the way he processed the world, that that was the way he dealt with social situations, that he was a person with dark periods, who had a tendency to sometimes lash out with anger. And to anyone who saw that side of him, I am sorry. It wasn't an easy side to deal with, but that wasn't Ronnie. Ronnie wasn't an arrogant person. He was just socially unsure. He was unaware of how his behaviors would be perceived by others. And sorry that so few of you got to see the true Ronnie, Ronnie as he really was, the one who gave me a hug at the end of our Game Lab episode together.
No.
The one who took pride in his obscure internet trivia. The one who relished in every new dig that he would come up with for Gaijin Goomba. The one who would be so... Those moments were the true Ronnie. When he was unburdened by his past, when sunlight would peek through all the clouds. It would take a lot of patience to get there, and a lot of long conversations and phone calls. But when he got there, it was great because you knew that it was honest, and it was genuine, and it was a person who was free. Ronnie.
True. It's genuine, it's real, and it's a person who is free. Yeah. I'm so sorry that I know people in our life sometimes may have such behaviors, but ultimately speaking, they may be unaware of what they're doing sometimes, and should understanding, care for one another. Aren't we all just humans, human beings?
Ron told me once in the early days of the channel's history that it was his goal for his animations to be recognized and for him to be influential as an artist.
True.
And if I were to tell him something right now, I would say you did it.
True.
That he achieved that goal. That the Game Theory style, and anyone who has ever mimicked the Game Theory style, or anyone who has ever had a show on these channels, that was Ronnie's style. He was the person who created that.
And this sort of style is just, it works. And not only that it works as a video, it works for us to remember him. Yes, it works for us to remember him, his style. And we're just learning from him. We're learning from everyone.
Over the years, we've had a lot of editors join the team because Lord knows it takes so long to make these episodes. And more often than not, they say that they were inspired by Ronnie and the work that he had done on the show. So I hope that at some point, deep down, he knew the impact that he had and that he had achieved his goal. My one regret is that I never took the opportunity to tell him how proud I was of him, of how much he had evolved as an artist, of how sophisticated he had become in his own voice, and how elaborate his animations had gotten. His work
have really improved a lot, in which we as audience, I as an audience, I'm a viewer, I learned a lot from his style. Thank you so much.
It hasn't just had an impact here on this channel. His work has had an impact on the internet at large. And I hope that he saw what we all here saw, that he was an incredibly talented artist from day one until the day that we lost him. I think it's just one of those things that your mind gravitates towards in these sorts of situations, right? What you could have done, what you could have said. So I think...
Yeah, it's at this kind of lost period in which we go through, reflect, and regret. Yeah. What could we done better? Could we have just, talk about it, have a meal or two? Could we have prevented this unfortunate outcome? Gosh.
Really merits mentioning. We're all really busy every hour of every day, round the clock. But take the opportunity to tell people what you think, how much you appreciate them, how much you love them, how proud you are of them. Even if that person is really weird in the way that they take their compliments, like Ronnie often was, it'll stick, it'll land, and that compliment will really mean a lot.
True. That small compliment, just a small tiny compliment. Small, if you zoom it in, it's super big. It can be their world, And yeah, I'm always grateful, I'm always appreciative of my audience who's watching my videos. I'm so grateful, so thankful for all of you for everyone around me, for being there, for making me a better person, for making me who I am. Yeah, for making me improve. Thank you so much.
Any way you slice it, Ronnie's loss is a tragedy. Any loss like this is a tragedy. He was my friend, and he was the person who worked on this channel longer than anyone, second only to Stephanie and I. But I hope that through his tragic loss, there could be some good that comes out of this, that this video and the conversations that ensue in some way start to break down the stigmas around talking about mental health, social anxiety, and suicide.
True, we need to, what you say is correct, we need to break down the social stigma of talking about mental health, suicide, all this stuff. We need to break down the social,
First and most importantly, remember, you are never alone.
True.
Never.
You are never alone. You, I'm talking about you. You are never alone. Trust me. Trust everyone.
Even if it feels like you have no one to talk to. Even if you're talking to someone and it feels like they can't say the right thing, it's okay. It's about you not having to carry the burden yourself. It's about you not having to go through this alone. Keep talking. Keep conversations open, because it is the single most important thing in these sorts of situations. It's about you being able to give voice to what's wrong, to what you can only experience without being judged. I know from doing fan meetups at events like VidCon that a lot of you who watch this channel go through these struggles, that you're dealing with social anxiety, with suicidal thoughts, with depression.
I watch these kind of videos and let's just be honest, these thoughts really does hit too much at home. It's just too true. And yeah, a lot of my friends who watch this video as well, they also spoke out to me and like share their experiences. You know, you're not going through this alone. We are always there for you to listen, to talk this through, to go this through with you. Yeah.
And what I often hear from you in those stories is that this channel, this community, has helped bring you through the darkest of times, the lowest of lows, a breakup, a loss of a family member, whatever dark thoughts might be circulating through your head. And that is the biggest honor for me to hear, that me nerding out in my closet somehow gave you hope to continue on, to know that you weren't alone, that your mind processes things differently and that that's okay, and that other people are out there just like you.
True.
But I also recognize that this is a battle that you have to fight every single day, and it's a battle that you have to win every single day. Ronnie fought that battle for a lot of days, and he won for a lot of days. But it only takes one loss. So don't be ashamed to have your voice be heard, to share your story out there with people who are ready and eager to listen to it.
Yes, yes, I absolutely agree with that. After all, we are all just human beings.
The Theorist community is a great place to start. Everyone here is so thoughtful and supportive and loving and caring. That's the beauty of social video in general, that it unites people. And at a time.
Yes, and to be honest, this sort of supportiveness and appreciation, encouragement for all is really motivating and inspiring for everyone. Bring out the positivity around us, and let's make this world a better place together. After all, we are only human. We are only human.
When social video and social media are constantly tearing each other apart, let's remember that it has positive to offer too. That it can unite people. That it can give people who feel like they have no one to listen to them someone who is there to to listen, but also reach out in real life. There are countless numbers of services out there available to help you. Suicide hotlines, websites, therapists, people who are trained to help. I'll include links in the description, but just do a Google search. They are there. But most importantly of all, remember that you are important, that you are valued, and that you are loved by more people than you could ever possibly think of.
True. That's absolutely true. I want to bring out the positivity in this kind of talks in which it is a joke, so please bear with me, it's a bit dry. You are literally the champion. You are a winner. You are a champ. Because think about it. Out of trillions of possibilities, quadrillions amount of possibilities, quintillion amount of possibilities, you are the winning sperm. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
There's going to be a lot more to come on this channel when it comes to honoring Ronnie's memory. Look out for live streams that are going to be dedicated for suicide prevention charities. I know that Trailer Drake and Gaijin Goomba and some of the other theorists have things planned to honor Ronnie's memory. And in his memory, check out his show, Digressing and Side Questing. It was always one of my favorites.
True. Digressing and Side Questing. To be honest, their videos are awesome. Digressing and Side Questing. Do check them out. Thank you so much.
Honor his memory by living, most importantly of all,
True.
and talking.
Honor their memories by living.
Openly and honestly with each other. That's most important. I'll miss you, buddy. I'll miss you and your lime green shirt and vest that you wore to literally every meeting that we had.
Keep the character constant.
Like butter, Ronnie. Like butter.
I'm so sorry, this video is a bit sad. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope that you watch more of their videos. They are from the YouTube channel, the Game Theorists. And yeah, if you do like this video, please consider to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Do follow my channel as well. Thank you. And just want to know that all of you, I really appreciate and grateful that all of you are here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. But hey, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. That's just a loving theory. A loving theory for everyone. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you. We will miss you a lot. Thank you. Anyways,